Trusonians, welcome to my Wednesday. Welcome to Hump Day, July 23rd, 2025 at 1:40 p.m. DMV Standard Time. I tried to record this. As a matter of fact, I completely recorded this, and then it told me it couldn't upload it for some odd reason. And then I did a test run, and it was ready to save it and upload it. So maybe that was the version that was not supposed to be recorded. Today I ran into a clip for True Blood, and it was all about Sir Lafayette. And I am now in love with Sir Lafayette. I remember in my salon days where I had several Lafayettes. Let me say, throughout my salon career, I've had several Lafayettes. I've had those that didn't play about me, they made sure I was good from the time I got there to the time I left. And if anything kicked off, they did not have a problem with taking it to the streets. It was such an amazing piece of protection. Watching this clip took me to several conversations that we would have in the salon, including our blended clientele, because most salons in the DMV area are open workspaces. So usually there are these grand conversations take place when the mood hits your eye like a big pizza pie. It really is amore. So I wondered about these particular conversations where we would have where the women, straight women, the moms and the daughters and the cousins would come in and they would be in turmoil about the men, the straight men in their family having a true problem with the gay members in their family, or if they have gay friends that they want to bring to the house, or if they go out, if everybody's going out to a mutual family event and a best friend happens to be a gay dude of a straight girl, and they literally are just best friends. All of the quote unquote straight dudes in the family are now mean mugging and having a problem and snickering and just trying to make the atmosphere so fucking uncomfortable. And here's the question, because this is what used to hash out in the salon. It's like, do you not know? Like, okay, if you a straight dude and you say you love me, I am your auntie, I am your mom, I am your little sister, your big sister. If you know that there are moments where I might be needing some protection and you ain't nowhere around and my Lafayette is around, at the bare minimum, the respect should be there, because Lafayettes don't play about that protection, honey. They don't play about that protection. And another, Lafayettes are picky about who they love, so they not trying to convert you. They ain't even about to be paying you no mind. They literally sitting over here. So it gets quite complicated when. Oh, and that's what I did in the last recording. I did start out with saying this is going to be super controversial. I did say that. Okay, so what? We going on 4 minutes in. I've already started talking. So I guess you've already gathered. So 9 times out of 10, you didn't either clicked off or you agree or you here to learn something. And the interesting part about it is like, I really don't understand why so much shame goes with this, as if there aren't also a whole bunch of other aspects of this world that is unsavory, that is traumatizing and terrorizing. And I've never had a Lafayette type terrorize me or traumatize me, but I've had a whole bunch of stray dudes do it. So from my particular point of view, and let's remember, within my 20-year span of being in the salon, I was also an instructor at a beauty academy. And so even having students, having the Lafayette types as my students, would go get me lunch, would bring me goodies, would make sure that nobody cut slick. Like it was a side of life that was handled in some of the most eloquent ways without all the bruteness and beating of your chest and all that type of shit. Like in the room with them, I never felt threatened. I always felt protected. Now, I also prefaced my other recording with saying, I don't speak for everybody. I have not had a smorgasbord of experiences. I can only speak on mine and what I've experienced, which, as with all of us, tailors my points of views, my insights, my purviews, my peripheral. So, yes, this is highly subjective, which most points of views are, if we're going to be honest with this shit. But I felt like I need to begin to speak up more about this because this is my direct experience. These were my direct experiences with a whole difference, a whole spectrum full of Lafayette types. And none of them were the same, except for they didn't play about me and their protections for me. And who they like in their bedroom, I don't have nothing to do with that. And most often, we didn't even talk about that, mainly because they were sitting in the presence of someone who looked at them as a person. I don't give a fuck about who you sleeping with, because you damn sure not gonna really give a fuck about who I'm sleeping with. I don't really deal with people who nosy about what go on in my bedroom. It's my fucking bedroom. Well, not my bedroom right now, because I live in my dad's. But still, that's not the point. Wherever bedroom I'm robbing around in, that your business don't belong there. And so it was always this loving, comforting, hold space. I could come in that salon cranky as a June bug. And they didn't take it personal. They didn't withdraw. They didn't call me intimidating. And literally held space. Like whenever you want to talk about it. You want me to go get you something to make you feel better? Like nothing was taken personally. Sometimes I ran into a couple of Lafayette's, bitch, what is your problem? And then, you just keep it moving. But they held space. They did not try to dismiss it or deny it or compete with it or come up against it or even feel threatened by it. Now, like I said, this does not mean I'd have met every Lafayette of the world, because I have also heard of some very uh, shady dealings. I've never experienced that. And I'd be wondering, like, if ever, whenever I do venture out on my own, am I gonna have to be the fucking referee between the straight guys and the gay guys, which I love both within my bloodline as well as my lifeline? Because I'm never too far away from the beauty and barber salon industry. No matter which way I look at it, I'm going to be a cosmetologist. I've been trained. I earned my 1,500 hours. So it gets quite odd to have two different groups of people. And this is not to equate it, but I'm going to say, now that I'm thinking about it, know what it truly feel like for mixed children. I do. Even though we're all mixed, if we really gonna talk about it, we all are mixed. If you're gonna talk about the slave masters and the mistresses, I don't think anybody who's been here in this society, the USA, for the last 150 years is not mixed with something. The USA is the fucking societal mixing bowl. All of us are immigrants except for the originals, and those that spin or span or are offsprings of the originals. And saying is that even the originals mixed and mingled, it's really kind of hard to separate the salt from the sugar at this point. But I feel like I needed to speak up on this one because the Lafayettes of the world have been there for me. They've been there for me when these so-called alphas wasn't nowhere to be found because they somewhere pouting about some shit about not being able to control me. All they worried about is calling me mannish. Yeah, I'm hard to handle. I'm very hard to handle. And so I don't like nobody manhandling me. But anywho, shout out to the Lafayettes of the world. If you are a Lafayette that I have known personally throughout my years, I so appreciate you for the times you stuck up for me, for the times you ain't let nobody talk shit when I wasn't around, for the times when you made people put some respect on my name, for the times where you kept the record straight and kept the creativity clear, for the times where you sat with me while I needed to do my homework. You bought books. You sifted through crates for me. I appreciate you. And I will not let a day go by or a moment arise where I do not speak up for you like you spoke up for me. And I will let the straight dudes know they not checking for you. So all this animosity you have now, if you got animosity because you got some rude boy who don't understand that you straight and you not with that, and they still keep coming at you, then handle it like you handle it. But nor should there ever be the continuation of stereotypes around those that choose to romp around with whoever they choose to romp around with. And I'm gonna hold 10 toes down on, because whoever I decide to fucking romp around with ain't nobody business but who I'm romping around with. And the nerve of anybody who think that they are entitled to speak on that otherwise. That's another thing that women really can't fucking stand. Like, just because I am your little sister, your little cousin, your niece, your mom, does not mean that you have the right, or an old boyfriend, that you literally have the right to be saying, having a say so, think you have a say so with who I'm involved with. Now, if that motherfucker little, if because rude boys are straight too, so if dealing with a rude boy and he like to slap you around and shit, then yeah. But interestingly enough, I've had minimal instances where I had to call my brothers. Not even call my brothers. My brothers too bougie. But where I had to call my folks to put somebody else in line. So I honestly don't know what that part of life is like. And that's not what this clip is for. That's another story for another time. Because I actually have very stern opinions on men and women beaters. I don't like people that don't keep their hands to themselves. Now, if it gets, that there's a exception to the rule or something, emotions are running high or treachery is running high, you need to be in defense of something, somebody trying to take something from you, okay. But just because you fucking angry, and I'm noticing that here in these YouTube streets or in these cyber streets where people want to talk about those that walk away, I am going to double down and say continue to walk away. And the thing about it is to not mentally or emotionally sever ties, because once you do that, then it is a particularly done deal. Don't wish nobody harm. Up, down, round and round. Walk away. If you figure like you, especially if you a dude knowing you 10 times stronger than who you about to pound on, and I ain't talking about sexually pound on, I'm talking about like physically traumatized with your with the brute force of your muscular infrastructure. Because I don't think I'm ever going to understand the completely beating up of women. Now, if you need to push her ass off you, or make her, that sounds so brutish. Okay, so my masculine tendencies are coming out because I don't like women that go for men either, and sometimes they be acting like a fucking banshee. So, so it's like if you need to like get distance between y'all or something like that. I got two sons. I understand the struggle, but to really like start beating on her like she's some type of dude, I'm not. But yeah, I got all sorts of problems with that. And so yeah, shout out to the Lafayette's. I appreciate you with all my heart, and I'm not going to allow this divide that currently exists between gay and straight men, because it's not even all gay and straight men. There literally are some straight men who ain't bothered no way by none of it. Literally, like, well, you ain't trying to fuck me, so yeah, you still my cousin, you still my brother, you still my dad, you still my son. I'm not getting ready to like be having these society engineered divide and conquer bullshit get in between, and I ain't nobody about to embarrass me about you either. So shout out to those men too, because love is stronger than any political ploy, but by by far. So yeah, and I'm thinking about another clip that I'm probably going to record after this one, but that's all I want to say. And so yeah, shout out to you, Lafayette. Yeah, 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 yeah. And until next time, I wish you well.